I'm Joseph.
And I'm Nick.
This is Fish Jelly.
Oh, hell yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. Fresh off a plane again.
Yep. So we're back in the same room.
Yeah.
Couldn't be more excited.
Oh, yes.
How was your trip?
I'm happy to be home.
Okay.
But I was in New Orleans for the very first time. I'd never been, and I would like to go back under more relaxing circumstances. But I enjoyed myself. There was great food. The people were very nice. In fact, I went to the same one of the same restaurants 3 times because I like the food and the service. And the nightlife is interesting because I don't think I'm a Bourbon Street type of guy. It's too touristy. It's kind of like, it reminds me of Gaslamp in San Diego.
Yeah.
It's and even like the gay bar area, it's so tied in, at least, in the French district, is so tied in with the tourism that, I don't know, it never feels like a chill moment, kind of.
Well, I haven't been to New Orleans in 25 years. I used to go every Wednesday for like an entire year, but I wasn't 21 yet. So I would just walk around the French Quarter and
look at the people
and eat.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to go back. I was actually scheduled to go back right before
the pandemic.
The pandemic shut everything down. So yeah, maybe one day soon.
Yeah, it was nice. It was hot.
Oh, and humid, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, but I didn't have a lot of free time during the day, so I was protected. But yeah, I did enjoy my evenings.
Well, that's good. I went to see Janet Jackson at Resorts World because it was her final leg of performances for this residency.
Mm-hmm.
So I had already seen it, like 3 times prior, like this show. But of course, I went back to see my girl one more time. And of course, I enjoyed it.
Wait, you only went the one?
Yeah, I didn't go the second night.
Oh, okay.
I was kind of tired. Well, as much as I love her, she is very rehearsed and everything's the same. Even that, like, what seemed like ad-lib moments are actually rehearsed. And I've seen her. I'm not going to say enough. It's never going to be enough, but I don't need to be crazy about it.
Okay.
So I am looking forward to what she does next. I hope anyone who wanted to see her got a chance to. People often tell me, oh, I've always wanted to see her. And it's like, well, she was on tour and tickets weren't that expensive. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But that goes with a lot of things. People will often say to me, I've always wanted to do that or try that. And it's like, now that I'm saying this, it just escaped me. But someone said something to me recently that they've always wanted to try something. And it's like, a ticket's like $25.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say that. Don't say that like a dream of yours that's $25 you haven't pursued. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Bucket list.
Don't tell people that. But Janet adjacent, I was asked about Cardi B's new album.
Mm-hmm.
And the song featuring Janet Jackson. So I did listen to the entire album. It's called Am I the Drama? She did a lot of marketing for this. She's been posting a lot about it. And luckily for her, that court trial against that security guard who sued her really gave her a lot of like a big boost
mm-hmm.
to then slide into this album release. So her PR team's done a really good job of getting her to do a lot. I don't think the album lives up to all the press, but specifically Janet's song, it's called Principle. So anyone who knows Janet can assume that it's probably using a sample
mm-hmm.
of a song I have tattooed on my clavicle, Pleasure Principle. And it's just a sample. Janet's not providing any vocals. And so during the chorus, you hear Janet singing Pleasure Principle. Oh, oh. Oh, but it's kind of slowed down,
mm-hmm.
so it's deeper. I don't think that song's worthy of my girl's talents. It's cutesy. I don't see it being a single, and if it were, I don't see it being a hit. But it's cute. The rest of the album,
Cardi B's, sometimes her lyrical content because what's the name of that song I was listening to for a minute? Because I was just laughing because she's talking about like putting poison in her man's cereal.
Oh, that's exactly what I was going to say. Some of the beats are cute. I like the first song. I think it's called Dead, featuring Summer Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, or maybe it's not featuring Summer Walker. Either way, the first song's called Dead, and it's her talking shit. And
Mm-hmm.
I really like that one. Then she has one called Bodega Baddie that has a really fun beat. That's about it. But what I was going to say is the lyrical content feels very remedial. And if she's writing her own lyrics, it would track.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely seems to have a formula. Like if she is writing her own lyrics, the metaphors, the analogies, the similes are very basic. And there seems to be a theme like F these bitches and I'm the best and
Oh yeah.
the like the braggadocious to be expected in this genre, but it does feel repetitive. There's a song about, I'm assuming she's talking about her ex, and several songs feature lyrics that I'm assuming are referring to beef she's had with other female rappers like Nicki or Ice Spice or blah blah blah. But it's all very similar content. But and I do think it's worth a listen because I was at the gym giggling a lot at these lyrics, and I noted two different sets of lyrics. One is from a song called Magnet, where this lady says, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, these bitches can't fuck with me. And then there's a song called Salute, where she raps, made a few millions off talking ebonics. I am too blessed to be talking demonic. Okay.
Okay.
Then she has a song called What's Going On.
What is going on?
Well, and then I'm thinking, like, at first I was thinking, is this the Marvin Gaye sample? It's not a Marvin Gaye sample, but it is a sample. Can you guess what it's sampling?
No, because my mind goes to Marvin, but
Four Non-Blondes.
oh. I said,
Hey,
hey.
yay. But instead of using the direct sample, it's Lizzo singing that.
Belting that out. Okay.
And I think it's pretty corny.
Yeah.
And then I was surprised to hear, and no one talked about it because all the messages I received about Janet, Cardi B's album has a different song with a Janet sample.
Okay.
There's a song called On My Back, and it samples Funny How Time Flies When You're Having Fun. And it actually opens with Janet speaking in French. So technically, the song On My Back has more lyrics or words by Janet than the one that everyone's talking about. So Cardi has two songs with Janet samples on this album, and I still don't really like it.
Oh, that's okay.
But like I said, there are a couple that I do think work, and I still really like Cardi B as a personality.
Oh, for sure.
She makes for great interviews, and so I'm very happy for her success. And
I think I just read she's pregnant again. I don't know
and
why.
she is pregnant. Yeah. Yes. Okay, Beauty in Black season 2 is coming. We received a lot of messages. As people may know, our most popular YouTube video is us just talking about Beauty in Black season 1 part 1. There isn't even a video. So, of course it makes sense for us to review season 2. We want to watch season 2. And based on the clips I've seen, I'm sure we're going to have fun talking about it. But we're very busy, very important. So
yeah, it's been a really busy month.
But I think we might even watch the first episode today. And I think I'll do something similar where I put our episodic commentary on Patreon first. And then when we're finished with all the episodes, I'll combine them and put them on YouTube. So maybe that'll encourage people to go onto Patreon.
Clever girl.
I did want to clarify because last week we talked about professionalism. And I shared that one of my Zoom meeting recaps described me talking about people being raggedy and slutty. And so I received several comments saying like they were very nice. They weren't trying to like be mean, but they wanted to point out that me talking about professionalism while calling people raggedy and slutty at work is not professional.
That's right.
But to clarify, that Zoom call, that was not a professional Zoom call I was on. That was a personal Zoom call. And I was just running my mouth before I hit record. So to ease people's concerns, that was not a work related Zoom call that captured that summary.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think people are raggedy and slutty. We also received messages after Jimmy Kimmel's show has been put on an indefinite hiatus because of his comments regarding. I've been reading that people are saying, I'm not trying to be funny. The gentleman who was killed,
Mr. Kirk.
I don't know. I didn't know his name as you just said, Kirk. So I'm not trying to be insensitive. I just didn't remember his name. But after Jimmy Kimmel made comments, I watched the comment. It really wasn't directed towards that man, but of course we know that his show's been taken off the air, and which I think is scary.
Yeah, we're living in. I mean, if it wasn't apparent before, which it should have been to everyone, yeah, this shit is scary. Mm-hmm.
But related to that, people are canceling their subscriptions related to the network and what they own, which includes Disney, Hulu.
Well, that it's going to be everything. You're gonna have to cancel everything.
So we were getting messages like, "Did you cancel Hulu and Disney?" We don't pay for Hulu and Disney.
And we sure don't.
But ironically, like a week ago, you canceled a bunch of our subscriptions because we were paying like well over $100 a month for all these random, I think I said subscriptions. So we did cancel a bunch, but we never paid for Disney or Hulu.
No.
Okay, there's a lot to talk about this week. Tyler Perry's accuser, Derek Dixon, the guy who sued him for $260 million, he did his first on-camera interview with ABC recently. And I watched it. There were a couple of things I didn't already know based off of what we had heard from the initial lawsuit. So I'll share those. First of all, he shared that when he first got on set at Tyler Perry Studios, Tyler saw his raggedy Jeep and bought him a new car. And they don't say what car it is, but they show a picture. And from my own knowledge, I believe it's a Kia Telluride, which is a nice SUV. So that's interesting. And then Derek Dixon talks, because he's being asked, and the interviewer was being very gentle with him, but he talks about how did it feel the first time Tyler made a pass at you. And he says he thinks it's okay for people to shoot their shot, but they should stop when they've been rebuffed.
Well, that's what harassment is, yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, that makes sense. One thing he said that I thought, girl, don't say this because it's not believable. He says that, because the interviewer asked him about, well, to be clear, you did write a television show and you had a script for it and you shared it with Tyler Perry and Tyler Perry actually bought it, which I guess I didn't know. I thought that it was just something that he had shown Tyler,
mm-hmm.
and that Tyler was sort of dangling that in front of him like, I might make it or produce it.
Mm-hmm.
But in this interview, he says that Tyler bought that script, so he has it. So it's probably in limbo forever. Mm-hmm. But the thing that made me laugh is when the interviewer asked him about it, he goes, well, initially I was too embarrassed to send Tyler my screenplay. And I thought, too embarrassed to send Tyler Perry's screenplay? If the cat could hold a crayon and write something, I'd send it can't be any worse than the shit he writes.
Well, right, yeah.
So that made me laugh. Like, girl, don't say that because it's like, you're in his movies, they're
you know who I don't want notes from? Tyler Perry,
right?
On anything I write, like please.
And the other thing I didn't know is that after the lawsuit dropped, Tyler Perry's team responded by making the public aware that before this $260 million lawsuit was dropped or push forward, Derek Dixon and his camp had reached out to Tyler Perry and his team to say that they could basically buy his silence for $42.5 million.
Oh.
So of course the interviewer asked him about that, and he said, well, I wanted to be punitive towards him, and I thought that, that could be a way. And then she asked him, well, then how did you arrive at the 260 ultimately? Because of course Tyler didn't want to give you the 42. And he said that part of it is loss of income from the show and then loss of potential income from the TV show he wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other part was that he thought, how can I hurt a billionaire?
Oh, yeah.
Like it has to be in his pocket. But, it's an unfortunate situation. And it's, I could relate to this man talking about his experiences. And I think it's easy to think that, and we've said this before, because a lot, especially when it's women, a lot of men will say, like, well, she tried to trap me and she shouldn't have done this if she didn't want me to do that. And it's like, both can be true. Let me tell you something. If I go into Target and slip and fall, I want to check. Okay. But also, like, the floor should be clean. Like, people should be monitoring. Like, I should be safe walking in the store. Yeah. If some billionaire, if some closeted billionaire is sort of being inappropriate with me, would I probably let it go as far as it can go? Maybe. Because also, I'm not this young man, but my prospects are different. But I've been in situations where my prospects weren't as flexible, and I felt like I need to do, like I need this thing right now. And so I'm going to tolerate what's happening to me right now because I can't really
It's
afford.
in your best interest to do so.
Exactly.
Really, in a messed up way, right?
So I think it's easy to look at this person and think, well, why wouldn't you just quit? But then
It's not that easy.
it's not that easy, because it's like, would you quit?
No.
Would you quit? I mean, you're shooting, he's getting paid what, $30,000-$40,000 an episode to do his dream job.
Y'all do more for less.
So yeah,
I don't know.
It's like, would you quit?
No.
And would it not be in the back of your head, like, you know what? If I document this shit,
well, right, or
and this mother blah, blah, starts playing games with me, maybe I can get a check.
Well, I'm sure, like a lot of women in Hollywood can relate to, I just need to get through this and do this picture, and the success that I could get from this will allow me to have power. I need to stop this from happening to me again, etc.
I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but I do think people in positions of power need to be checked.
Oh, and for sure.
You, just because you're the one who signs the checks and everything has your name on it, doesn't mean that you can. He sought this man out, and that's fair. Like, he's a talent scout, essentially, right? Like, he creates shows and he has a penchant for very attractive men. And he saw this very attractive man at an event and basically made him an actor.
Yeah.
The blind can see what's happening there. Like, there are many, many professional actors who are looking for a shot, who are not seasoned and are also very attractive. But you didn't look for those. You saw this hot guy at an event and went that route.
And you got him into a honeypot.
Right. And I don't know, maybe people aren't accustomed to being approached that way. But, I'm here to tell you that people are manipulative. People have their eye on the prize. And if they have something that they think you want, they will use that beyond just doing the task at hand.
And it's usually kind of transparent as well.
And people are very obvious. And I feel like if you're bold enough, my attitude lately, because people are very bold sometimes and aggressive in ways that are not solicited. If you're bold enough to do that without any concern for what I might want or the situation, then I feel like I should be bold enough to react the way I want to. So if you're so stupid that you think that I would, not I, Joseph, but like Derek Dixon, like, you think this man's interested in having sex with you beyond the fact that you're offering him a job? Like, hello, stupid. This man, if you were just Tyler down at the gay bar, Derek Dixon would not check for you. Well, he wouldn't.
Tyler Perry's been in a stratosphere now where delusion sets in as well.
So I think that whether you're the manager at AutoZone or a billionaire studio executive, you can't use your power to get from people more than what they signed up for, which is their job duties. Like, what you're paying me for is what I'm supposed to be doing. The fact that you find me attractive, I don't disagree. Like, you can shoot your shot, but it's not smart, especially a person like Tyler Perry,
who's closeted.
Well, not only that, but like, of course, that could be misconstrued. Like, you shot your shot, he rejected you, and then you write a scene where his character gets 4 bullets in the chest.
And he shat on your shot.
And then it's like, well, now, and then you start messaging him more, being more sexual. It's like, well, it's not hard math. Like 1+1 = 2. Obviously, you're saying like, if you don't give me what I want, you're not going to come back on my show. And that's an abuse of power. And that's illegal in a work setting. Like, if you're out at the club, that's different. But this is not the club. This is a place of business. Like, people fill out W-9s and people, there are rules against this.
Right. But, everything's topsy-turvy now because we got the White House is abusing their power. So,
But moving on, but keeping with the theme of inappropriate behavior. So people know the Try Guys, and they probably remember 3 years ago, Ned Fulmer, one of the Try Guys, got caught having an affair with one of their producers, which was a problem because he's married to this lady named Ariel, and they have kids. And if people didn't watch the Try Guys, Ned was like the wife guy. All this man talked about is that lady and them kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, that was his persona. So when it was found out that he had had an affair, and it was, again, probably inappropriate because it's with the coworker.
A great big lie.
A scandal ensued, and the Try Guys immediately released Ned and edited him out from some videos. And so he's been like invisible for 3 years. But guess who's back? Ned, with a podcast called Rock Bottom. And his first guest is his ex-wife.
Okay, that's
spoiler.
That's kind of a short-lived thematic podcast, right?
Well, you're right. And he also didn't really explain. It's over an hour long. It's the most awkward podcast I've listened to, I think. Besides who's the man I can't Neil
Brennan.
I had to go to therapy to stop listening to listen to Neil Brennan.
You haven't talked about him in a while.
No, because I had to stop. It was not good for my mental health.
Oh, see? Okay.
But I hate that podcast more. But this one was just so awkward because it starts off with Ned talking for like 5 minutes in this really pensive, apologetic tone about what happened. That was just painful to get through. And then we immediately cut to a studio because the opening is him sitting in what looks like his kitchen. We cut to a studio, and all of a sudden Ariel pops up.
Hey, y'all.
And they are very awkward. And I found it very interesting. But just to give the highlights for people who either don't care or not interested in watching all of it, they confirmed their separation. So they are no longer together. Ariel says that there's no forgiveness. Absolutely not.
Oh, wow.
How could you forgive someone who does this to you, which I want to get back to.
Oh, God.
Of course, he expresses his regret and takes full responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
They also spend quite a bit of time talking about this together but not together dynamic because, of course, they co-parent. They were a young couple who went through this kind of amazing experience, right? Because they were kind of like doofy nobodies who then became, well, at least him became, I would say he was a celebrity. And Ariel would be on, I used to watch the Try Guys a lot, so I knew who she was too. So, to be young and in a relationship and then go through this trajectory, and it's a lot. And so they are not fully out of each other's lives because they have kids together.
Mm-hmm.
And then they spend some time talking about the public and private fallout. She mainly talks about how hard it's been, like anywhere she went, that was attached to her, and it's taken her some time to realize like she can kind of move on.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to spend too much time, but I guess I always say that. They talk about, or I wanted to talk about what forgiveness means.
Okay.
Because I feel like for a lot of people, maybe I should start with this because I did listen to the full thing. I think there was a lot that was missing from the conversation. And I think it's really because the only reason I knew about this podcast is because I saw a different YouTube video making fun of this podcast.
Is it only one episode?
Well, so far, but it was this specific episode, like why this should never have been done, and it's like the most awkward thing ever, and why would they ever do this? But I don't agree. These two people were social media personalities. They were influencers. Like, if they want to continue to work in that space, I feel like they kind of have to address it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he can just pop back and be like, oh, I have a cooking show. That's not going to work. Everyone's going to want to know, hey, what about that lady you cheated on? And
Everybody, well, he'll have the metaphorical scarlet letter.
right.
I mean,
You're going to have some splaining to do. So I think that he needed to do, I mean, if I were his publicist, I would say, like, we need to address this officially, and preferably with the two of you together, and we can move on. Because to not address it, it's just it's going to take even longer for you, and whatever your next step is, to get past that. So I didn't agree with the fact that.
Well, do you think if his public persona hadn't been all about the relationship, that the public would feel like it needs an explanation?
I'm glad you brought that up, because he does talk a little bit about that, saying that what people saw of him on the Try Guys was not who he was, but there were producers, right? This wasn't like this show was a big deal. They had producers and people making decisions.
And you had to talk about something, and your born ass can only talk about your...
Well, he expressed it as they see what resonates with the viewers.
Uh-huh.
And for him, people, like, they saw engagement go up significantly when he talked about his wife and kids and his relationship. So they crafted that storyline for him. That's not something, he said, that's not something that I would have chosen for myself.
Dear listeners, it's all your fault for forcing him into that box that he didn't want to be in the first place.
Basically. No. But so what was missing for me in this conversation, because I think it's really easy to, like, Ariel says, well, everyone says, like, well, what did you do to make your husband cheat on you? Which I do think is a thing, right? Like, people will say, like, well, were you not satisfying him and blah, blah, blah. But I also think the way she was talking about it, you're also doing something similar where you're sort of putting all of this on him, when in reality, relationships are complicated.
It takes two.
People's needs change. Yeah. It's dynamic. And I don't know this man, and he didn't say these things. Although I did have dinner a few weeks ago sitting next to Zach from the Try Guys. So maybe through osmosis I felt this, but I got the sense that he was saying a lot without saying anything at all. Okay, and that thing that he was saying, I think, is that he had just, what he built with her was not really the life he wanted. People change, feelings change, seasons change.
That's true. All of it.
Expose. But I kind of got the sense that he was trying to be respectful and let her have her time to speak. Because, I mean, he's basically the interviewer, so it's really more about her.
And she was the wronged woman.
So she really expressed how she felt betrayed and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to argue that, and I'm not going to pretend that.
Well, but also it's kind of like,
it's easy to move on from those things. Like, I would be hurt if I were blindsided. Because the thing that, one thing, she said that she didn't learn about this until the story broke, and that right before it broke, someone sent her a picture of Ned with that lady.
Oh.
And she was so delulu that she thought that was like, oh, his sister. Like, she didn't process what had happened. And then when it broke, it was like, oh, wow, like, he's having an affair.
But that's the other thing, the danger of letting that define you. I mean, because if you could take just a couple steps back from, the very personal reactions and the processing that we all need to go through and be like, this shit's so banal.
Well, I think, accountability is important, but also, like, your personal boundaries are important. Like, if this doesn't work for you, if you can't move past this, then you should move on. Like, that's your decision. But I think sometimes, because I was also reading comments, and I think people's views on relationships are so rigid, and I think that's why a lot of people struggle. Like,
they are, but the public figures shouldn't have to be held to that either. You never know what somebody's agreement is.
You don't know what people are going through. You don't know what they've been through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying, like, oh, she drove him into the arms of another woman, but you just don't know what people are going through.
Yeah, and
And I think, yeah, it's really odd to put that like put your shit on other people. And the lady was saying that people were approaching her, and he was saying people were approaching him and had
it's
opinions, and
like you only liked him because he
he
was
was
married.
happily married.
Like that makes
Are
no
you
sense
that
to me.
naive? So you think let me tell everyone a secret who doesn't already know this. The people who seem the most perfect and happy are the most effed up, in my
Yep.
opinion.
Oh,
Because
yep. They're definitely hiding the most and sticking their
they're
head in the
hiding the
sand. Yep.
most. Yeah, they're doing some weird stuff because that's not reality.
Nope, not at all.
That's not reality. I
Every day is a winding road, said Sheryl Crow.
and I feel like I would get in trouble, but I kind of felt bad for him because I think
Well, he was the one that kind of got effed up over it. He was eviscerated. So,
well, that part, but I think just on a personal level, it's like because we don't know what he was going through, and we don't, I do think that if they were in a committed monogamous relationship and things were such that he felt in a he was in a position where he thought this made sense, like that it had enough value that he would pursue this, what I think most people would consider an inappropriate, like, workplace
well,
relationship.
there's that component.
And then you also have a very public marriage, and like you're really risking a lot. Now, sometimes I feel like when people do risky things like that, it's like a,
Well, each man kills the thing he loves. Also, people, don't shit where you eat. My God.
but I also appreciate that sometimes we do. And it's,
Lesson learned.
you sometimes regret the decision, but I'm just saying, and I'm not making excuses for him because I want them for me. I'm just saying that I can see how it probably he was probably in a point in his life where he felt like he needed this,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't know why. I don't know. He just looks so pitiful, and she's just sitting there like this proud victim, which I know people won't like either. But I'm not saying she deserved to be cheated
Well,
on or
that's the
anything
thing.
like.
Like, do you want to be defined as that?
Right, but
Like,
the whole betrayal, and it's like, yes, if I make a commitment to do or be something and I break that commitment, it is like a disappointment, and I did break a commitment. But I don't know. Sometimes the language people use is like, this is a thing that has only happened to you.
right.
When most relationships end, most people been cheated on or have done the cheating, or probably both. This is not an uncommon thing. And I think because of the way we talk about it, we can't really process it and maybe start to recognize that, like, maybe our idea of relationships is too rigid.
Most certainly.
Some people's, or maybe, but I'm not saying people need to evolve. Like, you can want what you want, and you should be able to craft the kind of relationship you want to
Well, it's
craft.
like, were they talking about what the silver lining of this was? Because maybe if it wasn't this producer woman, it would have been somebody else. It would have been something else.
Well, I got the sense from him that she seemed a lot more, again, he didn't say these things, but the feeling I got from him was that he didn't want to be with her in that way. He did not
So,
want, he just didn't. And I think about my own parents who were divorced, and at the time when they separated and I was a teenager, it was so hurtful and so hard for me to process. But now that I'm a middle-aged man who's been married for a long time, I can kind of see, like, I don't think one or the other was the villain. I just think that,
well, it's almost like crossing those boundaries allows for the irreparable to happen. Because if Ned or any other man wasn't cheating but just wanted out of the marriage, maybe it seems that much more insurmountable because you haven't transgressed a boundary that you can't go back from. You know.
right, right. But anyway, we should probably move on.
Well, actually, that subject's gonna actually seems very prescient for the film that was chosen for
I
this.
know this film seems right on time, the secret film, which we'll get to. But the restaurant section,
Restaurants.
do you want to talk about some of your New Orleans cuisine?
Well, this place that was by my hotel was called Coterie, and I ate there 3 to 4 times. One of the waitresses is like, we had a small bond going on. She's very nice, and I had I had a couple of their po' boys. I had a Gator po' boy that I actually quite liked.
Wait, the Gator po' boy, did it have cheese or like what?
There were
How was it prepared?
there were pickles. There was some sauce that I really liked on it, like a remoulade or something like that. And it was fried and breaded gator, and it was kind of chewy. It felt like a chewier chicken.
Oof.
I liked it. I would get it again,
Okay.
and I actually liked it better than the shrimp po' boy I got there. And there's some lettuce. I don't remember what else. And I got their crab cakes, which came with mashed potatoes and some kind of coleslaw that I didn't love the coleslaw, but and what else did I get there? Oh, shrimp etouffee.
God.
You have to say it like Dennis Quaid,
Like Dennis Quaid
in the
and
Big Easy. Shrimp etouffee.
and not like Tommy Lee Jones in
JFK.
JFK.
Who would be offended by the etouffee?
Yeah.
Where else did I eat?
Well, you bought some very expensive candy,
At Kilwin's. Well, chocolates.
chocolates.
That would-
It's good.
Yeah, it's a place that's not too far from the famous Cafe du Monde, which I walked by several times. But,
Where they sell those beignets or the.
oh yeah, beignets everywhere. I didn't bring you back beignets because
I'm familiar.
They get hard right away.
You didn't bring. I was expecting you to bring back some praline, but people can send praline to the PO box, but make sure it's sealed.
You didn't.
I don't want any in aluminum
The
foil.
fudge I got you is praline fudge.
Oh, I haven't tried all of it.
See, y'all just talk. I'll have
no,
talk
but
to you.
praline, like actual like pecan praline.
Oh God, those are everywhere. Beignets, pralines. I almost got sick of seeing pralines advertised. Like Jesus Christ. I ate other places too. I'm trying to. Oh, there was this sandwich place called. I had this huge French dip sandwich for lunch, and I didn't eat the rest of the day because it was so huge. Called Izat, it was not far from Coterie, and then a Chinese restaurant that was really good that I don't remember the name of, but I got a couple things there. Yeah.
I tried a new place this past week called Cafe X2O. It's a Mediterranean Lebanese restaurant in South Pasadena because my mom was craving Mediterranean. So we went. I enjoyed the food. It's a little cute spot, nothing fancy, but I have to say the chicken kebab that I got, that was some of the best chicken I've had in a long time. I also really like lentil soup. You don't.
I like lentil soup. It just reminds me of like growing up poor.
I love lentil soup, but I like my mom's lentil soup. I like it hearty and thick with like, ham hocks in it. I like it like that, well seasoned. And I feel like whenever I do order lentil soup at a restaurant, it comes real brothy, liquidy.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but
maybe I'll have to make some. My mom would make that, and that shit, she'd make so much of it, we'd be eating that for the week. It's triggering. That and pea soup too. Mm-mm.
Oh, I love a good pea soup.
No.
Ooh, actually,
too much.
Lastly, in the restaurant section, I want to complain about, have you had one of Starbucks compostable lids?
No.
So one of the Starbucks I go to, because there are like 3 I go to, one of them has started using the compostable lids. They are terrible. They're like unprocessed cardboard. So immediately, you know what it's like?
Disposable straws?
No. Well, no, it's worse. It's like the thing you put eggs in. Like,
oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So immediately, like when you take the first sip, it gets wet.
So if you're one of those people that likes to sip your shit all day, no.
And then as I'm drinking it, I can taste the paper.
Oh, okay.
Patty LaBelle. I'm not trying to eat the paper, but I can taste the paper. Oh, it's like, who made that decision? What product development person thought like this is what we need to do? It affects the taste of the hot coffee or tea.
You better send some emails.
Oh my God. Comment below if you are just not a fan of these compostable lids. They also get, they're like eggshell colored. Mm-hmm. So like if you're drinking black coffee, within like 3 sips, it starts to absorb the black coffee. So then your lid just looks disgusting. It's soggy. I just don't know how they make sense. And I need someone to validate that these compostable lids at Starbucks don't make any GD sense.
Well, somebody's trying something. Oh, speaking of coffee places, the chain that I discovered in New Orleans, PJ's.
Okay.
I quite liked. I got a lot of coffee from PJ's, and they had a Bananas Foster blend that I believe is seasonal. And
Oh,
when the young woman, my first visit to PJ's, told me about Bananas Foster, I was like, what? I'm like, is it good? Do you recommend it? She goes, I don't know. I don't drink coffee.
bitch.
I'm like,
Ugh.
okay, give me some of that shit. And you know, I drink my coffee black, and it still tasted sweet. It was very interesting.
Oh.
I quite liked it. I got a lot of it.
Films released we didn't cover. A Big, Bold, Beautiful
Well,
Journey.
there were like 20 new releases this week, and because I was out of town, a lot of these got hemorrhaged. Like, but yes,
Fine with me.
a big, bold, beautiful journey would probably have been something we'd seen if I'd been at home this week.
That trailer looked atrocious to me.
And it's gotten terrible reviews.
So I'm sure I probably would have had fun talking about it. But
Yeah, it looked like it was definitely trying something, and I like Colin Farrell enough, and Margot Robbie's okay. It was, the trailers reminded me of this old film from the 40s I like called The Enchanted Cottage. But anyway, Kogonada directed it, and I hated his last film,
which was what?
After Yang.
Oh, that's right.
I loathed that film, and we did review that one. Anyway, I guess this is flopping hardcore, but which is too bad. But I don't know. I might try to make a point to see it next weekend. But
Next, The Lost Bus.
a new Paul Greengrass film, which is released on Apple TV and theatrically, which I have access to this right now. But with Matthew McConaughey, which is like a bus ride thriller.
Oh, is his son in it?
I think so. It actually looks kind of good. I do want to see that.
I was watching his son on the red carpet, and he, the way he talks about his dad is like you might talk about an old supervisor or something. It was really odd. But anyway.
But that looks kind of good. I don't know if you looked that up and are interested, but
no, but we'll see.
Okay.
Next, The Summer Book.
I saw this at the AFI Film Festival last year, and Charlie McDowell, who is the son of Malcolm McDowell and Mary Steenburgen, and she was there. We're at the premiere of this. It's it's an adaptation of a Tove Jansson book, and I have a few books by Tove, was very famous for her. What are those little cartoons called? They're animated figures, the Moomins.
Oh,
anyhow, Glenn Close is the stars. This grandmother, and also Anders Danielson Lee is in it. I love Glenn Close. I thought this was a little dull, but I still haven't read the book, even though I have it, but I do plan on it. But that came out, no marketing.
Next, The Senior.
I only bring this up because I happened to watch it or watch a trailer for it at something. And it's a sports drama about how this man, who I think is in his 50s, decides to return to football. And it stars Michael Chiklis, who I always remember as the Commish. Do you remember that TV series?
Kind of.
From the 90s. And he was also in the original Fantastic Four. He was that rock creature in the first two movies of those. And Mary Stuart Masterson's in it. But anyhow, there's a film that I didn't put on this list that I feel like I have to bring up, though, called Waltz with Brando.
Okay.
Which is kind of a biopic about Brando.
Oh.
Starring, you'll never guess who, Waltzing with Brando, Billy Zane.
What?
Yeah.
Playing Brando?
Yeah, that came out this week. And
I'm curious.
And it's funny because I saw the poster. It was at the same theater where I saw him in New Orleans. But yeah.
Oh my God. He kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy, huh?
He also looks like on the poster, he's giving, well, the poster I'm looking at, it's kind of giving. It just escaped me. Oh, the poster I'm looking at, you see Billy Zane with a hat on in his profile.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh Grant.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting Hugh Grant.
Sure.
Oh, wow. Oh, I would definitely watch this.
And John Heater from Napoleon Dynamite. Anyway, and then lastly, I would shout out to Megadoc, which is also Coppola related. We got Coppola all over in this podcast because I think he was uncredited screenwriter on the film we're going to talk about. But Mike Figgis, while Coppola was making Megalopolis, filmed this behind-the-scenes documentary that was just released called Megadoc. Which, I mean, I really didn't like that
yes,
film.
yes.
I would be interested in watching this sometime, but We have a review out there from Megalopolis. I think it's a terrible film.
Projects of interest. Gentle Creature.
Marie Kreutzer.
Oh, shout out to Luscious Massacre.
Gentle. That ran through doll.
That ran through Brick. Terror.
Marie Kreutzer, whose last film we reviewed and both quite liked, called Corsage.
I don't recall, but okay.
Starring Vicky Krieps as the Austrian princess who kills herself.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great film. She's assembled a great cast for her new project, Gentle Creature, that includes Catherine Deneuve and Léa Seydoux.
Oh.
So, that is must-see cinema for me. Must-see.
Unfortunately, there are a couple of entries in the obituary section.
Mm-hmm.
Gianni Quaranta died. He's an Italian production designer.
Yeah, an Oscar winner. I believe he won for A Room with a View.
Oh, wow.
Which is a great film and novel by E.M. Forster. He did several other many notable films, like Bertolucci's 1900, which I still have yet to see. Also, I think nominated for Oscars in La Traviata and Brother, Sun, Sister Moon, who's the art set director on those films.
He was 82.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Robert Redford died. He was an American actor, director, producer, ...
Creator of the Sundance Film Festival.
He was 89 years old. I, of course, know Robert like the name Robert Redford, but if you would have asked me to say something about him, I think the only thing I could have conjured is, didn't he do a movie where he's on a boat by himself?
Yeah, but you didn't see that, did you? All Is Lost?
Yeah, I did watch that.
You did watch that?
Uh-huh.
I saw that at Cannes. When did you see that?
Like on Redbox, I think I got it one time when I was by myself.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so I couldn't have named a movie, a Robert Redford movie. And then I think if you would have gave me a hint, I might have been able to conjure that he created the Sundance Film Festival.
Okay.
But I'm embarrassed to say, like, I really didn't know anything about this man. So, of course, when he died, we received a bunch of messages, which I think is funny because sometimes, like, well, of course I'm going to know Robert Redford. But, and then people gave suggestions on, like, assuming that we would pick a Robert Redford film as our secret film. But what are some films of his that you think of when you think of him?
Oh God. Well, all the classic shit from the 60s and 70s, like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
He's the guy from Indecent Proposal?
Yes.
He's the man who makes the proposal?
Yes, he makes the Indecent Proposal.
Oh, that movie is crazy.
Yeah, we have a podcast for that, I think.
We have a podcast for Indecent Proposal, and I did not know that was Robert Redford.
Yes, that is definitely him.
And I'm very familiar with All the President's Men.
Of course.
I didn't realize he was in that.
The Sting, which came out the same year as the movie we're going to talk about, and that's his only Oscar nod for acting, was in The Sting, which is Best Picture that year, I believe. And he became a notable director himself. He won an Oscar for his debut.
What?
Which we have a podcast for as well, Ordinary People.
What's that about?
Or with Donald Sutherland and Mary Tyler Moore and Timothy Hutton.
What? What the hell is Ordinary People? We have a podcast for that?
What? You don't remember? This is very recent. Donald Sutherland didn't die that long ago. Remember where...
The accidental death of the older son of an affluent family deeply strains the relationships among the bitter mother, the good-natured father, and the guilt-ridden younger son? Is that where they're in Venice?
No, that's Don't Look Now with Donald Sutherland.
Oh, well, you can't blame me. They both have Donald Sutherland. There's a
you
dead son.
You don't remember Mary Tyler Moore as this awful, cold mother?
Oh, okay. I do remember her as a cold mom.
And Judd Hirsch as the therapist.
No.
Okay, well, you're out there on the internet talking about it. So, anyway, got Out of Africa. That was another Best Picture winner. Up Close and Personal with Michelle Pfeiffer comes to mind. Yeah, and he even got into the Marvel business because he was in Avengers Endgame.
He was known for his activism towards environmentalism, Native American and indigenous people's rights, and LGBT rights.
Yes, he was an ally, and he was very eloquent and outspoken. And I think, you know, just another bummer in a shit sandwich year.
Well,
But he was
he
89.
had an illustrious career and he is well regarded. So, and I'm sure he'll be missed.
Mm-hmm.
The secret film this week was my choice, and I chose the 1973 American romantic drama, The Way We Were, directed by Sidney Pollack.
Who worked quite a few times with Mr. Redford, including This Property is Condemned before this, a Western that my dad loved that I haven't watched since I was a kid, right around the same time, called Jeremiah Johnson. Um, and then towards the end of and Out of Africa, of course, is Sidney Pollack with Meryl Streep and Robert. And also, I think I remember it being a big flop, and I've never seen it, but a 1990 film called Havana with Lena Olin and Robert Redford. But you're familiar with Mr. Pollack. We have a recent podcast out there for one of my favorite films. They Shoot Horses, Don't They?
Oh, that's him.
That's Sidney Pollack as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this film stars, of course, Robert Redford and Barbara Streisand. What is it about? During post-World War II McCarthyism, a diametrically opposed couple come together only to find out that genuine friendship and physical attraction is not enough to overcome fundamental societal beliefs. Okay, I didn't know anything about this movie, obviously, and then I was given recommendations by people on films that if I am going to choose a Robert Redford film, that here are some that I should think of. You had not seen this film, so that's why I chose it.
I've never seen it. I'm familiar with it, though. I mean, it has the title song that's an Oscar winner, sung by Miss Streisand.
I also know I like Barbara Streisand, so that's probably why I chose this one.
But this film has a huge reputation. I think it's on AFI's list of whatever their most passionate romantic dramas ever, or whatever. And my mother had the book and was a huge fan of this, and so was my grandmother.
This movie annoyed me.
I have to say, considering what I knew about it or its reputation, I was surprisingly very cool on this film.
I found, well, yeah, this movie annoyed me. I didn't love the story. I didn't like the characterizations. I think Robert Redford and Barbara Streisand more so is, you know, the screen loves her, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It took me the entire film to think, who does Robert Redford remind me of? Do you know who I'm going to say?
No.
Brad Pitt.
Oh, sure. And, God, what else did I think that? Oh, and Glenn Powell a little bit too.
Oh, sure. But yeah, it hit me like a ton of bricks because I kept thinking, gosh, and of course I know Robert Redford's older, but like what modern actor does he remind me of? And then, yeah, it's Brad Pitt.
And those two are in a 2001 film called Spy Game.
Oh.
With a Charlotte Rampling, I believe, in a bit role, but which I think is just an okay film. But yeah, they're... Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just going to go through the story really quickly. So it's about these two people. Robert Redford plays a man named Hubble Gardner, like name. The Hubble telescope.
Mm-hmm.
And Barbara Streisand plays a woman named Katie Moravsky.
A Jew and a Gentile.
So Robert Redford's character is a wealthy, handsome wasp.
Mm-hmm.
He is an aspiring writer.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you could say he's like politically asexual. Versus Barbara Streisand's character, she is politically passionate.
Mm-hmm.
She's Jewish, she's more working class, and she's very outspoken about like social justice, anti-war shit. She would be considered a leftist for sure.
Yes.
So my first problem with the film is the organization of it, but you could basically say it starts with them meeting in college. And there is, I guess, an attraction. We need to get back to all of this because I just do not see these two being together. because it doesn't make sense, but also like I didn't feel anything between them beyond her wanting him and him, I guess, being I just don't see what he saw in her.
Well, I think it's supposed to be that she pushed him to be a better person.
Well, yes, exactly. Except for that, I mean, I guess you could say, and I'm sure people who have read the book would add context, but I've only seen the movie. I think the main thing I saw is that he appreciated that she liked his writing.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had to conjure up something, maybe that he liked her or was intrigued by her intensity. Because this heifer will not stop. Like, she doesn't know when to shut up.
That's true.
So this is in the late 30s when they're in college. And then they happen to bump into each other in the 40s, like during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And despite their differences over the course of like an hour, not an hour, maybe like 45 minutes, they decide to get married. And all the key moments in their relationship are kind of happening like off screen. So it's all very like muddled. And
so all the moments we do get are negative.
Right.
Almost.
But Barbara encourages Robert to pursue his writing career, but then things sort of take.
But don't you dare sell your novel to Hollywood.
And guess what he does? Sell his shit to Hollywood. So then we get them moving to Hollywood. They've gotten married.
They live in this beautiful house in Malibu.
We need to get back to all of it because they have this charmed, perfect white life in Hollywood. And I just didn't feel anything for these people. But now it's like the late 40s, 50s, and it's McCarthy era. And this is what feels even like the most prescient is that there's like censorship happening, and the script he has written, the director feels pressure to maybe like alter it from the studio. Like there's all this stuff in the background going on.
Mm-hmm.
And Barbara's ass can't shut up about it. And I guess that's like the
well,
they make their relationship seem so basic. Like they just don't get along because
well, her outspokenness is compromising him at a particularly sensitive time when the Hollywood 10, you know, the screenwriters that tried to fight McCarthyism have all been blacklisted.
Right.
And so anybody that is trying to stand up for their rights is being shut down.
So what you just described is kind of the climax of the film, coupled with their marriage collapsing because Robert Redford has like an affair with
an old girlfriend who's married to his friend,
who's married to his best friend and coworker, who Barbara knows.
Mm-hmm.
But she's pregnant.
Hello, Ned.
No. Yeah, hello, Ned. She has the baby. And again, all of these key moments are very like tangential and off screen. And then the end of the movie is we fast forward several years.
Mm-hmm.
And now Barbara Streisand's back in New York.
With a new attitude.
A new hairdo, married to a new man.
Mm-hmm.
And she happens to see Robert Redford in the street with his new lady. And they reconnect. And it's clear that like they have both moved on and like they're never going to reconnect. The end.
Yep.
Okay. People talking about this like this is the greatest love story ever told or the saddest love. I just didn't feel anything for these people.
I didn't either. I was, again, because of with what reverence this title has been talked about in my life, I was expecting to be.
I thought I was gonna be crying.
This
on
is
the
a
couch.
weepy. Yeah, this is gonna be a tearjerker. So it's based on apparently Arthur Laurent's own kind of college relationship, and you have seen many things that Arthur Laurent has written, including West Side Story. So I guess I can see that there is kind of a realistic attitude it has towards relationships that people are trying to force to work, even though it would seem like any objective observer would be like, no. But apparently Francis Ford Coppola and Patty Chayefsky, I think they're uncredited in the film, but also worked on the script. I don't know. It just seems with that kind of pedigree, with those three names in there. And I love Sidney Pollack, but this just seems so, it seems very broad strokey to me.
I don't even know where to begin. Well, first of all, this was a commercial success, like you mentioned. It won 2 Oscars: Best Original Score, Best Original Song, which I think is funny,
Mm-hmm.
but nominated for 4 others. It does have mixed reviews, but of course, people praised Streisand and Redford, who I also think are, you know,
Well, they're both captivating in their own ways.
yes.
You know,
So
you know what? Another thing about Redford is he was afraid to like age naturally on screen,
yeah.
and but it's funny. He was what, like 36 here.
Oh, was he?
He's has a lot more gravitas than a 36-year-old has, in my mind. But
Yeah, yeah, but I liked him on screen. It's nothing about their performances, although I think he has less to do than Streisand. But then I feel like the more that she gets is just grating to me. But
well, and I think it paints her in a weird light.
yes, although I can imagine for the time, like in the 70s, this representation of a woman who's vocal and I don't want to say combative, but vocal and opinionated and assertive and is positive, but then I think from my lens in 2025, it's just like she seems unreasonable and kind of self-centered and
A little excessive too,
yeah.
well, because she apologizes for her behavior at this party where she, well, there's liquor involved, but quite inappropriately, I think, goes in.
Well, there are several moments when she does that, but what's a good way to start? I'm just going to start going through my notes. So when we see them in college, Streisand is giving like a talk in like the student commons area, and people are making fun of her because she's like this.
Well, she's head of like the student communist committee or whatever, and she's trying to get people uh, to be aware of what's going on in Spain with Franco's regime, and only the Soviets have sent in troops for assistance at this time, and she's raging against that, and of course all these apathetic students don't care.
You know what? I have to go on a tangent because I know I'll forget if I don't. I think this movie frustrated me in the way that this is the end. What's that Justin Baldoni movie?
With Blake Lively,
Yeah.
Lily Blossom Bloom.
Yeah, what's that movie called?
It Ends with Us.
It Ends with Us.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was frustrated in the way I was frustrated with Lily Blossom Bloom.
Oh God.
Because when we meet her as a teenage girl,
mm-hmm.
she seemed like assertive. She falls in love with that little homeless boy and like helps feed him and stands up for him, and they have a really beautiful relationship. And then the dad catches them having sex and damn near beats that boy to death.
Mm-hmm.
And then we flash forward what I think is supposed to be like 10 years, even though that lady looks like 20 years have passed.
Mm-hmm.
And the way she's acting with Justin Baldoni and is like, where did the Lily Blossom Bloom I knew go? Because the girl I knew wouldn't act like this bitch right here.
Exactly.
That's how I felt about Katie.
Mm-hmm.
That's her name, Katie?
Katie Morosky, yeah.
That's how I felt about Katie. Like, I just, like, why are you chasing this man who you have nothing in common with? So then getting back to the college days, and you described what she was doing with this organization. Robert Redford's there with his buddies, and his buddies are clearly like they have opposing views to whatever Katie's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They're making fun of her. Lots of people are making fun of her. But Robert Redford's character is played more like Hubble is, again, I guess, like politically apathetic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their beginning.
He's politically sterile.
And she recognized, she clearly is drawn to him. So she knows him as like a fellow student. And she seems pretty cold towards him. But then one day they are in like some sort of creative writing or literature class.
Mm-hmm.
And the professor says, like, I'm going to read a sample of someone's work. And as you know, when I choose to read someone's samples, because I think it's an excellent example of whatever the prompt was. And so you could see that Barbara Streisand's character thinks he's about to read her shit. And then the professor starts reading and she can tell it's not her stuff. Mm-hmm. It's actually Hubble's piece. And that's when she starts to soften towards him because she likes his voice and his style. And that's when things really start to heat up. So that was so, but the film is constructed with like if if the college years were in the late 30s, then the film starts in like the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And we see Barbara Streisand at like some sort of event, and Robert Redford is sitting at a bar asleep in his military garb. And so she recognizes him and walks over and like touches his hair in a specific way,
Mm-hmm.
which is um, we get a call back to that in the final scene because she kind of sweeps his hair the same way. She tries to sweep his hair and he doesn't wake up, and that's when we flash back to their college days, which I feel like that. I don't know. I don't like the construction of this
I
movie.
think it's unnecessarily confusing, but she makes a scene getting into that event, if you remember.
Yes,
Because the man is saying that the maitre d is saying there are no tables. Did you recognize him?
He's the dad from Punky Brewster,
George Gaines,
right? Isn't that the dad from Punky Brewster?
Well, I recognize. I never watched Punky Brewster. I thought you would remember him from Tootsie.
Oh no,
George
I know
Gaines.
him as Soleil Moon Frye's adopted father.
Isn't
Yeah, he's the dad from Punky Brewster.
Oh yeah, he wasn't. Oh yeah, yes. But anyway, he was in Tootsie. Remember, he's the one trying to molest Dustin Hoffman.
He's the doctor in the soap opera.
Yes.
Yes. Oh yes, I do remember
Mm-hmm.
that. But so then they connect, and he ends up spending the night at Barbara Streisand's house.
When
Like they kind of have a one night stand because he's kind of drunk and he kind of passes out. But then they, it's. Did you get the sense they had sex?
I guess so, but yeah, she's crying.
It's not cute. It's just very like, I feel like I was watching like a 60s sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
But he gets up the next morning and she is excited. This heifer has made breakfast. She's talking about like what we're going to do today. And that man couldn't get his clothes on faster. And then the best part is he asks her, because he has a hangover, do you have any aspirin? And she goes, no. Just put your fingers on your temples.
Yeah.
The look he gives her, I thought I was screaming because he just is like, this crazy ass. And she's like, well, when I get a headache, I usually just eat. Like, I made you breakfast. And he's like, I gotta go by. There isn't a moment in this movie where I think Hubble likes Katie.
Well, the moment where they're dancing, because is it at the school dance where she's dancing with a very young James Woods.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about James Woods.
Yes, and he steps in. Like that's one of their positive moments.
The one. 30 years ago. Okay. I thought it was really cute because when she was in college, she had curly Barbara Streisand hair.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they meet later or reconnect, she has hair that's kind of straight. It's been smoothed out.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, I figured it out. Your hair. That's what's different about you. Which I thought was cute because it's very like straight dude. Like,
yeah.
Really? You don't recognize my hair?
You're a writer.
Like,
sir?
Yeah, you like this is a pretty big difference, but okay. And then he's like, how did you? She's like, well, I get my hair ironed. And he's like, ironed? And then I thought it was cute that he goes, did that hurt? She goes, no. That was probably the one scene that put a smile on my face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So after I finished the film, I feel like this might have worked better if they focused on the more political aspect of it and the censorship.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I felt like, man, this could have been like Network, but like for 40s Hollywood. But instead, it's like straddling this line where it doesn't do either very well.
I think the movie you would like if you wanted that is Good Night and Good Luck.
I haven't seen that.
It's I don't think you have. George Clooney directed that, I believe, with David Strathairn.
Oh,
remember that, like from 2005?
Wait, I think I have seen that.
Oh,
Good Night and Good Luck.
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen that movie actually.
Yeah, I think that's a much. I think that is giving what you want this film to give.
Yeah, well, it's not that it's just that the relationship doesn't work, and I guess we could probably talk about. I'm trying to find a way to say this. I really like Barbara Streisand. I just don't think that, Because here's the other thing. The lady he was seeing, who's now married to his best friend JJ, Carol Ann,
That's Lois Childs. It's before she became a Bond girl in Moonraker.
that's a bad bitch right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel like it's odd casting. Like there's nothing about Barbara Streisand's character that I found captivating. Like beyond it being Barbara Streisand,
Mm-hmm.
like her as a person, she's just too much for Hubble.
I kind of felt the same way about her, and I think I'm probably in the minority in this. In What's Up, Doc, which is a remake of Bringing Up Baby.
Yes, I remember that movie.
Where she's with Ryan O'Neal, who's also equally blonde and waspy.
Yeah,
and she's kind of this zany thing, purportedly captivating him, and I just don't buy it.
Because it's like you have Carol Ann over here, who's like this obedient. Because here's the other thing. I never felt like I got a sense that Hubble is the kind of guy who's looking for a sort of strong-minded woman who's opinionated.
Well,
right?
That's the frustration with him for Katie, is that he always picks the road well traveled.
So then why wouldn't you pick the exceedingly beautiful woman who would be your perfect little housewife?
Well, maybe she can't read.
My God.
Well, I don't know. He seems to get really excited whenever Barbara Streisand's like, "I love your writing."
So then that's all I get from it, is that he just really likes that she encouraged him to pursue his writing, even though once he goes to Hollywood, she hates it. She thinks it's demeaning.
Wait, what was the? Did you catch the name of his first book?
Oh, damn.
It's called A Country Made of Ice Cream.
Yes, that's it. A Country Made of Ice Cream.
Terrible title.
But yeah, I hated that. I never felt like Hubble would be the kind of guy who would bypass Carol Ann to be with Katie.
Right.
Because all he is annoyed by her.
And especially with such kind of extreme ups and downs and getting back together with her.
And then you already mentioned this, but this lady, Katie, she acts a fool every time you take her
out. That should have been the title, This Lady Katie.
This lady Katie acts like a damn fool every time you get her in front of people. And I think I was also triggered because I know people like that.
Yeah.
You can't say shit. And they're like, well, actually, how can you, why are you drinking that? Well, don't you know that that's a problem? It's like, bitch, stay home then.
Exactly.
Don't come around people if you're going to.
She's a little Debbie Downer.
Oh, just interrogate everyone and everything.
But and I think as a college student, I feel a lot of people act that way, and then you have to grow up and realize that
no one wants that.
No one wants to be.
No one wants to be around that.
Yes.
Exactly. No one wants to be lectured.
You have to find a different way to change minds. Yeah.
Right. And that's the other thing. Like, you're not going to change my mind by castigating me in front of a group of people. You're not going to change my mind by calling me out in front of a group of people when I'm just trying to enjoy my ginger soda with vodka.
Well, it's like
and talk shit.
Like the guy making the shabby joke about Eleanor Roosevelt,
right,
the day FDR died. It's like, maybe if you had been, a queer man and said something witty, a witty retort, and shut him down, Yeah,
she just, every scene was like, damn,
Shrill.
Girl, you can't just be quiet. Because Robert Redford even tells her, like, I feel like the other problem with this film is that his characterization, like, he's the more reasonable one.
Well, that's
from my perspective.
That's what it comes across as, which is unfortunate, because she does have her. I agree with what she's saying. It's just that, even she knew she was out of pocket at that party.
Right.
Because she says, "I'm sorry, I'm fine. I was a temper tantrum." It's like, yeah, that
I think I wanted to feel like he lost something.
Like his best friend tells him he did, right? At one point, he's like, "Oh, I lost Carol Ann, but you lost Katie." Bradford Dillman playing JJ.
Yeah, actually, I felt like JJ's loss felt more meaningful to me than I wanted to feel like Hubble lost a good thing, so that in the end, I guess the famous scene where they reconnect in New York, I wanted to feel heartbroken, like these two. I wanted to feel like, damn,
would that what it
were if they had been able to make this shit work,
get their shit together. Yeah.
But by the time I got to the end and they see each other passing, it's like, yeah, hey girl, bye. Yeah. Like that was the vibe, and that's what it needed to feel like. Mm-hmm. So then it's like, this is not this heartbreaking, like, love for the ages. This felt like two people who have no business being together, making us sit through 2 hours of that shit.
This felt like elevated pulp, is really what it felt like.
I'm sounding so negative about the film. I do like the way it's shot. I do think the acting is good.
There's some, very interesting people in here. By the time he gets to Hollywood and they're in Malibu, he's working with that producer, George Bissinger.
Bissinger, yeah.
Patrick O'Neill plays him. And just a couple years later, Mr. Bissinger would be the man responsible for turning the women into robots in the Stepford Wives.
Mm.
And then I don't know if you noticed her because it's a very brief part towards the beginning. Sally Kirkland is handing out flyers.
That's right.
Her name is Pony Dunbar.
You know what? Something else hit me because the scene that I found the most embarrassing for Katie is when she calls after, again, like Hubble is very reasonable. Like he sees that this is not right and basically says to her, like, this is not going to work. And then, of course, she's devastated. And then we get a scene where she can't sleep and she calls him, begging him to come over, telling him that he's her best friend, which, God, I get so distracted. I also had a problem with the chronology of these relationships because they are crisscrossing, right? JJ and Carol Ann. And because Hubble was seeing Carol Ann, but then also like cozying up to Katie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's a function of the construction or editing that it wasn't clear to me when they were actually like a couple or if
mm-hmm.
until, and then even them getting married is like,
you don't know they're married until they're unpacking in Malibu.
Yeah. You don't know they're married.
Okay.
Like, okay. But she says to him, "You're my best friend." And I thought, damn, like this is just embarrassing for you, girl. Cause I don't even get the sense this man likes you romantically or as a friend. Like, I think he's tired of your ass. Like,
yeah, what I see doesn't feel like passion to me.
Like zero.
From what I understand of it.
Like zero.
And have experienced. But yeah, no.
And then when Katie proceeds to tell Hubble she's pregnant, she tries to do it in a cute way. But I thought, because she's trying to talk about like she's coming up with a story. And she says, well, there's this gorgeous, goyish guy.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, she's talking about him. And that's when he realizes, oh, you're pregnant. But I thought gorgeous, goyish guy would be a funny name for something.
That reminds me, I think what I was wanting was a perspective of her parents as well. Like what do they think of her marrying this Gentile?
Yes.
Because it also has all the makings of an interracial relationship is what like they
yeah, we don't get into the complexities of
but like what it means for her to latch on to a man like him.
But I know what I forgot to mention because I went off on a tangent. I think what we needed maybe if they were going to approach this movie the way they did, I think Katie needed a friend.
Yeah.
She needed a girlfriend who the audience could see her communicating with, and the girlfriend giving us some context and filling in the blanks and maybe telling her like, this is embarrassing, or this man doesn't want you, and why are you so sprung on him? And maybe we can hear Katie telling her, but this is what he tells me when we're alone. Because we really don't get them alone a lot. It's usually with his friends who are annoyed by Katie because they're saying shit that, yes, like you said, I agree with what Katie says. It's just like, do you want to be around these people or not?
Right.
Because if they bother you so much, you can't be with this man.
I would only have to be in that group of people one time and know enough that you go hang out with your little friends.
So,
but we do get her. She does have some side conversations with another woman, but it's Vivica Linfors playing that other screenwriter. The older woman.
Yeah.
And Vivica Linfors is also a famous person. You might remember her from the first segment of Creepshow.
Oh, where they
Harris.
pick up that little kid?
No, with Ed Harris, where it's they're making a Father's Day cake, and the father comes out of the grave.
What?
And he kills them all, and he's like, "I want my Father's Day cake, Cordelia."
Ooh, I don't remember that.
You don't remember Ed Harris?
No.
Okay.
Dang.
Well, that's Vivica. She's Cordelia in the first segment of that.
So the film they're working on, all of that's complicated by censorship and having to change things. And then at a point, they're ready to show. There's like a screening party or something. And that's when they realize that
They're being recorded.
They're being tapped, like wiretapped. And
Mhm.
I feel like all of that felt real sort of clunky.
Which is weird because, also of the uncredited screenwriters are Herb Gardner and Dalton Trumbo, who's probably the most famous of all the blacklisted screenwriters and had like a exceptional comeback story, being tapped by Preminger to pen Spartacus, I believe, and something else. But
the funny part of that scene is that, Barbara Streisand's character had basically been silenced. Like, just be quiet.
Mhm.
Let me try to get through this movie.
Mhm.
But then when the entire room realized they've been wiretapped, I thought it was so funny that Katie gets activated.
Mhm.
She's like, oh no, this is my
Mhm.
shit. And then next thing you know, she's up in Washington
Yep.
protesting. And then I was a little confused because then it seems like Hubble now supports her.
Well, yeah, because Lois Childs, Carol Ann, is told that she cannot do that or say anything. And Katie references that. And he's like, well, this is a different household and my wife's going to Washington or whatever.
I felt like that also came from didn't that feel kind of jarring that all
Yeah,
of a
like,
sudden
oh.
he's like, oh, so now this is cool, but then not really because he seems upset about it. I don't know. This man's integrity feels strange. And then speaking of integrity, the final scene, we hear, because then my first thought was, where's the baby?
Yeah.
And then she says, oh, she's like years old. So that's how we know years have passed.
Mhm.
And then he asks, how is she? Like, damn, so you have no part in this child's life. So then that really made me feel like, girl, this man, I don't think Hubble, as portrayed by Robert Redford, seems like an asshole. He just seems like someone who, like, I just don't understand how he got roped in with this lady.
Mhm.
And that's what frustrates me most about this movie.
Yeah.
I feel bad because all I've done is complain. Rest in peace, Robert Redford.
Yeah, no, I didn't dislike it. I just thought that it was a little, I don't know, a little on the dull side, perhaps. But it's a very handsomely made film. Harry Stradling Jr., who you've seen his work as a cinematographer in Little Big Man, at least. It looks good.
Some key themes in the film: love versus ideology. Like, obviously, that's something that's supposed to be present. I feel like they're just really hammering in the ideology, but it's like, where is the love? And then
Black Eyed Peas.
and then idealism versus pragmatism. The other thing we don't really get is like Katie's like financial situation. Like, I feel like it's just really hitting home that they have different political beliefs, which feels, I don't know.
Well, I don't know what his are.
Right, because he seems very like moderate middle, like I don't want to ruffle any feathers.
Yeah, he's just a stick your head in the sand and I'm gonna get by type.
And then he comes across as more privileged than her.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We don't talk about like we don't know, like you mentioned, we don't know about her family. Like, I mean, she has a nice apartment, so I mean, I'm not quite sure. She seems to work for like some sort of television studio or something, or not television, but
well, she's editing.
She's editing something, and she's fighting with her even her coworkers don't like her ass. Like, and then the passage of time. This film really relies on like key eras like the Depression, World War II, McCarthyism, which I think it doesn't really utilize to the best that it could. And then this idea of a bittersweet romance, again, I don't see these two people who, because I feel like it's supposed to be like, oh, how two people could love each other so deeply, but then they can't be together.
Yes.
That's not what I felt. This felt like two people who have no business trying to be together.
They needed to have that situationship like Ellen Burstyn and Alan Alda in Same Time Next Year, where they meet once a year to be lovers.
And the fact that we don't see them actually separate is just kind of like, oh, I had a baby after you cheated on me. And
well, doesn't she say, stay with me till the baby's born?
Yeah, just and then it's like, oh, years have passed, and okay.
Now we're talking about banning the bomb.
Is he paying like, well, I guess they wouldn't have had child support and shit back then, but
Yeah,
Yeah, I I don't know.
I don't know, but you know, again, I love Sidney Pollack. Not, I don't think all of his films are exceptional, but he has made some exceptional films.
I know people are gonna. Well, you know what happens is that they see what the movie is, and then people start commenting how they love this movie and they cried, and it's like, oh god,
Yeah,
I did not feel the same way.
yeah, no, I didn't either, but I do like the leads and the director, and um, yeah,
What
it
would
was nice to have a chance to finally watch it because I bypassed it for so many years.
what would you give The Way We Were?
I'm gonna give it a 3. I think you liked it less than I did, though.
I think it's okay. I would give it 2.5 out of 5. All right, what do we have coming up this week? I know there's a review for the Smashing Machine coming.
Well, that's an October 3rd release.
Oh, I don't know what day it is. Okay. Well, I'm not sure. This coming week will be light because I won't be in town.
Yes, so we're gonna be late on the Paul Thomas Anderson film,
Darn.
which it's fine. It'll be what it's gonna be. I think we're gonna do Scarlett Johansson's directorial debut, Eleanor the Great.
Oh yeah, with June Squibb.
And then
That's
yeah.
good.
God.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No.
Ta-ta.